So you've went through the process of filling out your 10DLC A2P submission, and you finally got approved for A2P on GoHighLevel through Lead Connector. And so you go and you submit your first text message, you hit send, and it doesn't go through. So what happened? Well, in today's video, we're going to be digging into specifically what can happen to your text message as it leaves one messaging provider and goes through the full chain that there is between that messaging provider and the carriers. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about an alternative to Lead Connector on GoHighLevel called Signal House, a company that I helped co-found, which is a messaging provider. So we specialize in connectivity for CRMs and marketing platforms, but we can power any application to person or A2P messaging that is transmitted from some type of an application to a person or a software system to an individual's handset. So without further ado, let's jump in. Let's learn a little bit more about what can happen to your text message once you hit send. So the first thing to be aware of is just number provisioning and how that process works in the upstream sort of ecosystem. So every messaging provider is going to have a number provider where they actually purchase the numbers from. Sometimes that's the same company, sometimes it is a different one. And when that number is purchased, when that number is assigned to your account and then assigned to your campaign, it has to be verified with the carriers that it's ready to send messages. So AT&T and Verizon follow a very standard pathway that has been around for quite some time. It's very reliable. It's nearly instant to be able to send messages, but T-Mobile does not. They use their own internal proprietary system. And because of that, T-Mobile messages can have issues where AT&T and Verizon do not. So if you're sending out that text message, it's not sending. The first thing I would think of, if that's a brand new number that you provisioned, is how long ago has it been? Because it can take around 60 minutes for T-Mobile to fully get attached when you are doing that configuration. And that is just industry wide. So they have that kind of a 60-minute window to where everything should be working. It can, however, take longer. I've seen it take up to 24 hours before. Now that wasn't with Signal House, that was with another company. However, it can take up to 24 hours. In our experience, it usually is around 10 to 15 minutes. Again, can take up to an hour. We have not seen it on our end take longer than that, but it can. Now, let's also talk about the hops that a message has to go through before reaching a phone. So when you hit send, you might just think that that system or Lead Connector is just shooting that message off to the carrier and then it's hitting your phone. But that's not the case. There's a lot of different steps that number or that message has to go through before it actually reaches a handset. So first, it has to go through the actual messaging provider. So Lead Connector is powered by a company called Twilio. So that message first has to go to Twilio. Now, it's going to go through content filters on Twilio first before it goes any further. Now, Twilio is going through a very compliance heavy time within their history right now because they're trying to acquire a carrier connection. This allows you to have significantly better margins and a just closer connection to where the sausage is made, so to speak. And so one thing that can happen when you are going through that process, though, is that any kind of traffic that is deemed as bad traffic can torpedo that deal. The carriers only want to work with people that have very clean traffic that they're sending on the airways. So Twilio is going to have very, very strict content filtering. So that's the first step. You might just get filtered out there. If you have a lot of pushy verbiage and marketing messages, for example, like act now while supplies last, you need to move on this right now, and you're sending that out, that same message out to several different people, that can get filtered within their content filtering. They also use some kind of keyword filters as well. So if you're using overtly if you're using language that can be considered shaft language, which is sexual language, harassment, alcohol, firearm, and tobacco. So that's the shaft acronym. If you're sending that out, it could fail to their content filters as well, but I'm assuming you're not. So first thing could be content filters. Their content filters might have saw that that message was a little bit too similar to a message that they have deemed as a scam message or a spam message. And so because of that, they filtered it out. So that's just one possible reason. Now, there's also technical hurdles that can happen between Twilio and their upstream partners. Now, they use one DCA, which is a direct connect aggregator. This is essentially a gateway between a messaging provider and the carriers. So messaging provider, step above that is the DCA, step above that is the carrier. There's only 4 DCAs in the US. All of us messaging providers use at least one of those 4. Signal House is tri-redundant. We use 3 out of the 4. So we have different connections to each of them for redundancy. So if there's an issue with, for example, the T-Mobile connection at one of them, we can send our traffic through a different one. So that's our philosophy. Now, Twilio primarily uses one DCA that themselves has to use another DCA for T-Mobile traffic. Hence how T-Mobile sometimes can be difficult in the space. And so because of that, the hops, if you'll count them, are hitting send on GoHighLevel. That's gonna transmit through Lead Connector, which then transmits through Twilio, which then transmits through the first DCA, then the second DCA, and then the carriers. It's a lot of different hops. Each different hop can have a technical issue. And again, if it's T-Mobile in particular, we do sometimes see that where outbound messaging doesn't work with T-Mobile, but it does work with others, while that connection is just being fixed. So Signal House on comparison. So we only have at least one hop, or we only have at most one hop between our messages and the carrier. So when you hit send in the Signal House app within GoHighLevel, that is going from Signal House to our DCA to the handset. That's it. Super simple. So it means that speed to lead is going to be quicker on Signal House. It also means that you have less room for technical issues or glitches or whatever the case may be. So that can be what it is as well. It's just a technical glitch or a technical hurdle, whatever the case may be. Another one, the reason why your message may not went out is because you registered for, let's say, customer care and account notifications, but you were sending out marketing content. And on its face, there's nothing obviously wrong with marketing content. But if you are not having a campaign that is specific to marketing, that can get flagged. And the flag is essentially called drift content. So you are drifting between one use case and another use case. And it's especially bad when it's marketing, or it's the one that they're really looking after. If you have a marketing campaign and someone reaches out to you and says they can't get into their account and you help them troubleshoot it, you're most likely not going to get shut down. But if someone specifically consented to customer care, and you're sending them a lot of marketing messages, that can put you in a spot to where you could see some issues. So I always recommend a mixed campaign. And yes, I did find a way to sneak mixed campaigns and low volume mixed in particular into this video like I do so many others. So a mixed campaign just has multiple different use cases. So you can have customer support, you can have marketing, you can have account notifications, whatever the case may be. This just protects you when your messaging drifts, of course, from one use case to another, so that you are protected and you obviously don't have any issues there. And so those are really the main reasons why your message would not reach the handset when you hit send. Now, there are some other tiny ones as well. For example, their phone could be off for too long or out of service for too long. That is another reason why it can fail. So there are different reasons why other than those, but those are the main reasons, is because of a technical issue, because of provisioning timeframes, or because of content filtering. Now, speaking of content filtering, on the Signal House side, we do not do content filtering ourselves. We get to know our customers. So we know our customers, we know what kind of traffic they're sending, and we know who their customers are. So this enables you to have higher deliverability on Signal House than you would with Twilio, where Twilio is doing content filtering. And again, Lead Connector is powered by Twilio. So when you're sending a message out there, you could have higher deliverability on Signal House with the same exact messages because they did not get caught in the content filters. It's just something to be aware of. Now let's talk about Signal House in general. What is the Signal House GoHighLevel application going to do for you and your business? Well, first things first is that it's coming in just a little bit over a week now. So we have a launch date of May 5th for that application. I haven't actually shared publicly that date yet, but May 5th, we're on track to launch then. That is going to be SMS. We are looking into adding a couple different features that I would love to talk in a video on tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. We also are going to streamline your onboarding. So instead of doing funnels or giving people a Google spreadsheet with all of the information in it to copy and paste, which is a great solution, by the way, it's just not super scalable. And if there is an automated way to do it, let's do it the automated way. And so that's what Signal House did. So we automate our campaign submissions based on the use cases that you provide and the way that you do business. We ask you just a couple of questions to be able to discern that and then populate those fields. We also go the extra step of giving you the ability to create a landing page. So this is a registered landing page that's specific for this campaign that you can use to ingest your leads. Now, we also have a webhook section that will automatically bring those leads back to GoHighLevel and show you what they consented for. So you can always do that consent tracking on your side as well. And again, it's coming May 5th, and we're really excited about it. Our team's actually getting our hands on it for the first time tomorrow. So we're really excited to see it. Now, of course, we have seen it, but we are testing it live for the first time tomorrow. So really excited to test, get in there, and just really see the incredible experience that you are going to be seeing once Signal House on GoHighLevel launches. So again, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We put out videos 5 days a week about just helpful information within the messaging ecosystem. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss one of those videos, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks so much.